I guess after a while, it just becomes rockstar mode, doesn't it?
I guess so,
I guess
man.
it's just like, well, I guess that's what I am now.
Always ready, always prepared.
I don't even know where to begin on this album. I'll have to take my time over the course of our chat because I could get really excited and just drop all my love about this album and it'd be hard to absorb. But I do really think that whatever it is you set out to achieve, and I guess that's what we're supposed to try and figure out. You know, whatever you're trying to say on Big Ideas, you got it, you nailed it. Start to finish.
Thank you.
Nailed it. And I know it was
Wow.
a journey. I know it was done in stages.
It was.
And I know that you went through some shit. It's all over the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
But wow, did you pull this off?
Thank you. That is
Amazing.
so kind. I'm so happy you feel that way.
How did you feel when it was done and you knew that you couldn't add anything more to it without going crazy? So you had to let it go. Was it joy? Was it relief? Was it melancholy?
Well, okay. The actual letting it go, the actual release was very joyous and felt like this massive weight being lifted off my shoulders because I felt like I'd just been pregnant for 2 years, essentially. Yep. Well, maybe a year. But I mean, mixing and mastering is always the scariest part of the album making process for me because it's when you start to kind of hallucinate, auditorily.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
you're just I don't know what this is or what I did, and you start to second guess everything.
Well, also the original intention that inspired you to make the song starts to become something that other people are going to listen to.
Yeah.
And so you have to just almost detach yourself from that, and it becomes something else.
You start to prepare to allow other people in. And I think that there's a huge disconnect there that starts to happen within your body, and you're just oh my God. So the 3 months before the release is really uncomfortable. And then once it's gone, it was I had this party at my house and it was so fun.
But then when you freak out about stuff like that, you just go listen to Cherries and Cream. You're like, oh no, I did that. I can do anything.
Yeah. That song was a monster one to produce.
That song is unbelievable.
Thank you.
That song is that's like a bar set for anybody, I think. I mean,
Wow.
that's like a big wave and you rode that shit.
It was a wave that we could have not gone on, but we did. And we we saw it all the way through. We spent so many hours on that song, probably 100 hours or something on that song.
I can tell because the musicality and the arrangement, it's almost like how do I describe it? I'm going to nerd out here so hard on arrangement shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the bit when you go falsetto and you kind of ride it out and you give us the hook, it's I don't even know how you found a way to connect to the song like that when it was already throwing so much at you. It's like you just cleared the way. You just got everything out of the way and was like, I'm just going to do this part now. And the song went, okay. It's like you tamed it.
Yeah, thank you. That was a beast of a song. I wrote the verses last, a couple months after we actually started it, which is not a way that I typically work. I normally tend to write everything all at once in one day and then, go back and tweak production elements and vocal production and stuff like that. But this song, because kind of the beast of it and because it was there's so many clear sections, I didn't know how to approach the verses at first. The chorus was actually the first thing that I had. Right. So that how, like you said, the paved lane for the chorus was kind of already there. It was mainly how do I get there?
I mean, I think you hope you pushed yourself to the point where you're not quite sure if you can ever sort of replicate what you made when you're in a studio. I really think that that's kind of the point of being free and not worrying about what you think you can or can't do or what you did before. It's like, oh, I'll figure that out later. What a brilliant challenge.
Oh, yeah. I got the band for it this time, at least. We're touring with an 8-piece band. And
that is, I was going to say, you need that. No,
Come on.
No, but you...
Let's go.
No, but you need... you need that now.
I do. I mean, I just don't think that there's a single way that I could ever pull this record off if I didn't have the just like the amount of people to play all the sounds, because we went so deep and on all these sounds, and we're going really, really deep on the live production right now.
Great.
So it's gonna be really cool. And I'm just kind of like, I'm over tracks. I'm just over having anything fake on stage or anything pre-recorded. It just like makes me so angry.
You've grown past it.
Yeah.
I mean, angry is a strong word for that, but maybe, I mean, redundant, maybe. I'm not trying to replace the word, but I mean, I get so angry at backing tracks. Just
I honestly,
angry.
I
Furious.
I get that.
I am furious.
Yeah.
Really?
Doubling down.
Are you,
I'm livid.
I'm really mad.
are you Jay-Z in his DOA era? You're like Death of Autotune? Is that where you're at right now? It's like,
Well, I actually am kind of starting to appreciate autotune more than I ever have, which is wild. But I don't like the tracks. And I'm kind of just trying to get back to a place live, because I play live so much. I play so many shows all year round.
yeah.
And I'm trying to get back to that place where I was when I was like 15 and starting playing music, and like what made me so excited about playing a live show. And that was like having all my friends on stage, and for all of us to be able to look at each other and like
Figure it out.
respond to each other
Figure
and
it
make
out.
moves.
You're
yeah.
right. What the tracks do is they put you, it's exciting when you first go out with the tracks because your show is new. But after 50
and it
shows,
sounds big.
It sounds big, but 50 shows with the tracks, you know what you're doing every night because the tracks are the tracks. And so after a while, it's like, damn, man, this is a desk job. It's probably the closest thing to
Yeah.
feeling a bit like a desk job.
It's so boring. And
Right.
it's so,
No disrespect to desk jobs, but you know what's on your desk before you get there?
yeah.
Disappointment.
I was trying to walk it.
Fury.
I was
Damn it. I mean, that's actually probably pretty close.
Remi, here's the thing about this team, right? When one of us tries to walk it back, there's always one of us ready to take it forward, right?
That's where a good comedy happens.
As soon as I'm trying to like make good with everybody at a desk job, Hanema's like, no, I'm not done. I'm torching the desk. I'm torching the desk. Hey, where do I get a Tara cap from?
I got this cap in Spain.
It's not even merch?
It's not even my merch, man. I found
Shit.
it like I just was walking in a store and I was like, oh my God.
Did it inspire the
is.
song or was it all?
No, this was post song.
Wow.
I just got this like a month ago.
Does that happen too often, you know, when you're walking down the street and it just things that seem random, you can actually change the context of them and be like, oh, that's interesting. There's something to that. There's a connection there to what's going on in my life.
Yeah, I've been feeling that a lot.
Same.
Me and my friend, who's somewhere out there, were talking about a bunch of stuff the other day, and then 2 minutes later, like on the radio, they said the exact like words that we were saying, and we were like, "What the fuck?" And then,
No,
it
what
kept,
the fuck?
Oh, we can say it?
Sure.
What the fuck?
It depends on the person.
Okay, finally.
It depends on the person. I mean, you know, if someone came in real angry, I'd be like, but you know, you're Remi Wolf. You get away with anything.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you literally.
Hell yeah.
No, I mean,
Let her in, brother.
Dude, that's what Just the Start's about.
Exactly.
She gets away with anything. It's
true.
I mean, if it's a Brat Summer, she is definitely big Brat energy, no question about it.
Shit. Yeah. Brat's so good.
She's killing it.
Yeah.
And rightfully
Charlie.
so.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
the
fire.
world just finally caught up, right?
Yeah, man. Thank God.
I mean, if you watched John Oliver last night, you know, it was quite a big segment at the beginning when he was wrapping up the week talking about how CNN were trying to wrap their head around what Brat Summer meant. Jake Tapper's like, does that mean we're all brats? And then John Oliver's like, no, Jake Tapper, you are not a brat. It was just brilliant. It was just,
Yeah.
it was amazing. Well, you got to get that Tara merch going on. I mean,
I do.
Yeah.
I'll have my own, but for now, this is what we got. So.
we got,
I got this bootleg.
it's
got legs, though. It's got legs.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. You now share a wonderful creative space with one of our favorite people, Clairo, who of course is also working with Leon
yeah.
Michaels. And
I love her.
yeah, she loves you too, I'm sure. And it's like, look, you're coming from a similar place, you know, both in terms of generationally, artistically, and, you know, going into a room where, you know, Al Michaels Affair has been giving us this beautiful, along with others, this beautiful, tasteful, like instant vintage, timeless music that just makes
Yeah.
you feel good. And I think, you know, for an artist like yourself to get to a point where it's like, yeah, I can absolutely sit in that room and it can mean something to me and I can contribute in this space. Must have been a really lovely revelation because a lot of younger pop stars or newer artists would feel intimidated by that level of musicality and that desire to make something that could have sat in any decade. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're trying to make something modern and new, and you're like, hang on, no, I want something timeless.
Yeah, I mean, back to what I was saying before, I think working with Leon and Nick and Homer and Paul, like all those boys, felt kind of like a return to home for me because I'm so used to making music
Like
with
that.
Yeah, like that, like jamming with a band with a bunch of people. So we spent a week together. We probably made like 8 or 9 songs that week. Motorcycle and Just to Start were the 2 that I released from that week. But I mean, we just jammed all week. We wrote like multiple songs a day. It was so fucking fun. Yeah, I mean, they're all incredible musicians.
So good.
We were all just like
Staring at each other.
yeah, and just like keeping up with each other in this really exciting way. That a lot of, like modern pop sessions, you don't really have the space to jam like that
Tiny
anymore.
little writing rooms,
Yeah.
tiny little production suites. I mean, I call it speed dating because it is. Hey, nice to meet you. What's going on in your life? I know we just met. Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets, and let's make a pop song. I mean, it's tough.
That's crazy. It's a crazy job. But they were so awesome, so open, like so fun, and truly like allowed me to kind of just talk my shit and sing and,
You talked your shit.
Yeah, talk my shit.
You sang your ass off.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It's so crazy. I remember one of the first times in fact, it must have been the first conversation we ever had. You were in a park somewhere. You were outside.
Mm-hmm.
You might have been hiking, I think. And you were describing kind of your living situation and where you sort of come from, or maybe what you were leaving.
Yeah.
And how you described it as just like a crazy house of people just all creating and doing mad shit, what young people do when you find freedom.
Yeah.
And
a trap house.
I believe the word you used was degenerates.
Yeah, we were degenerates.
And degenerates, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just casting your mind back to that for a second and the path that it set you on, clearly you're out the other side of that now, and not without life's challenges. They'll always throw them at you, but you talk openly about some of the clear realizations and self-awareness you came to over the course of making this record.
Yeah.
That kid back then, who was that kid?
Oh my God, she had no clue. But she was really drunk, and but super into, I mean, the same stuff, like jamming all the time, hosting people. I would play at a lot of house parties, and that was my like favorite thing to do in the world because everyone was having just the best time, and we were all so free. Like you said, it was just like this time of pure freedom, and like that energy I think still lives within me. So like when I approach making music, when I approach like performing my music, I kind of am always searching for this like party like excitement, which can come from like partying or not, but just like surrounding myself with people who like I genuinely enjoy and like that genuinely are free and down to explore. And
well, it's really, you're in service to curiosity more than you are to hedonism. And I think
Yeah.
often the two introduce each other quite early in life. It's like, what's that? I'll try that. And then it's like, oh, cool, that makes me really curious. But it's actually, you were curious first.
Yeah, always curious. I mean, I love
It's my favorite words, curious. I love it.
I love exploring, and yeah, I just like, I'm so open. I'm so open to kind of anything coming in.
Did it get crazy in the house though? Were there moments where it was like, fuck, this shit's like spiraling off into outer space? Like,
Oh my God, yeah. I lived there for 3 years, and that last year got real dark.
all right, give us one story that's not the darkest, but somewhat shade driven.
I mean, just like
Generics.
tobacco bong rips, like just
Tobacco bong rip?
yeah, like ripping a bong, but it's pure tobacco.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
TBRs, we would call them.
You got a fucking acronym for it?
Just PBRs and TBRs.
It's not
baby.
enough
That's all
to
we're
do it.
doing.
You got to do it faster, so you do it with an acronym. Yeah, it'll take too long to tell you what it is. Let's just do it so fast. We'll call TBR. First of all, I need to play a chord that I love that always makes me feel calm.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels so much better. And number two, I've heard and felt a lot in my life, and long may that continue. I have never heard of a TBR in my entire life.
Wow.
Was it a physical challenge? Was it a feat of strength? Was this just to get blackout and throw up? Like, I don't know, like just the idea of that much tobacco.
It was to it was you
was to
got
feel
real
feelings?
lightheaded.
Yes,
so
that
you
is-
would like
sure.
take it and then be like,
Yeah, no shit.
literally,
Like, no
and it would knock you out for like a minute straight.
You know what's crazy? Even the Tobacco Association of North America are like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, they hate us.
And they're just trying to kill people. And they're just outright like not trying to, but they're outright aware of the fact that their product
They're
can,
like,
can
please
kill
stop
people.
making us look bad.
Philip Morris sending you a cease and desist and be like, look, you gotta relax.
You're bad for business.
That's business.
All right.
These big companies hate me for my secrets.
There's a lot of, while we're here, let's get away from, you know what, this actual subject matter is going to sound light after a TBR. Doing business on the roof. There's a lot of sort of references to this kind of life that you were living where clearly you were enthralled with someone or some bodies that had a lifestyle that you were trying to keep up with. That included probably alcohol and drugs and just all-nighters and the shit that you do, right? And it's clear to me in this album that by just acknowledging that, you were like, fuck, that ain't me. Or maybe it is and I need to make it not, and maybe that's just going to be how it's going to be.
I think it was a lot of, I keep using this word, but a lot of exploration on like what my boundaries were with like how far I wanted to like party and how far I wanted to like be sober. I was kind of like on all the spectrums, like how committed I could be to a relationship, how not committed I could be to a relationship.
Right.
Like if I wanted to, like if I was okay with like having a one night stand
Right.
and having that be like the only thing, or if it's like I need like
Something more.
Yeah. So I was just like exploring all this stuff. I think there was nobody I was really trying to keep up with. I was just kind of letting life wash over me. And the reality was that I was just on tour for 2 years straight. So,
Which is such a fucking crazy place to be. Because at the end of the day, you're in a different town every night, and everyone who shows up wants your attention, not just from the stage, but after. They're like, hey man, let me show you round. Hey man, come to this bar.
Yeah.
Hey man, give us a story to tell. I'm friends with Remi. She hung out with me in Milwaukee. And so it just becomes this thing. And why wouldn't you hang out with like Sue in Milwaukee? But,
Yeah.
but Sue's going to work the next day with a hangover, and then you go off to, where's near Milwaukee?
Wisconsin?
You go to Wisconsin.
yeah.
And then there's Bob in Wisconsin who's like, Remi! And you're
like,
like, oh,
hey, Bob.
shit, Bob. I just had a big night with Sue in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I guess I'm having a big night with Bob in Wisconsin.
Yeah. It's a lot of that. I actually,
a lot of that.
I actually haven't been to Milwaukee or Wisconsin, but you know, New York.
I mean, I don't know if there's even a fucking Sue in Milwaukee.
I don't know a single Sue or a single Bob for that
Shit,
matter.
I'm 4 for 4.
I mean, they've fallen out of fashion for a reason. You know what I mean?
The names will remain, you know. Okay, so, but it was that wherever you were. I mean, 2 years straight. Look, I'm just saying, if you're on the road for 2 years straight, Remi Wolf, you're in a loop.
You're in a loop, and there's just a lot that goes down. And there's also not a lot that goes down. I don't know. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot of the same, but then a lot of like really random moments that super stood out. Like my song "Alone
It's
in
like
Miami."
such a combination of the banal and the
Well,
bombastic.
you're talking about your days off, right? Like you get your one off day and you're in Raleigh, North
No, but it's
Carolina
not
by
just
yourself.
that. It's not just that. It's like sound check gets monotonous. Shit gets monotonous. Shit gets monotonous. You were saying
Yeah.
about Alone in Miami, which I love as well.
Well, yeah, "Alone in Miami" kind of that was one of the like a standout moment of like a travel. I was in Miami to go to a Playboy party, like a party for Playboy. And I went there 4 days early because I was didn't know what I was in for, and I was really feeling psychotic, I guess, at the time. 4 days in Miami during Art Basel is a lot. But I went, essentially, and I didn't really realize that all you do in Miami is party. So that's kind of what I did. And like and I was alone. So it very quickly turned into this like super dystopian.
Fear and loathing shit.
Yeah. And I was like, you know, I was doing drugs that I normally don't do. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was, I mean, yeah, it was just kind of,
On your own. So let's just
On
figure
my
that out.
own.
So you wake up in your hotel, you're on your own, and you're like, all right, it's all out there waiting for me if I want it.
yeah.
What's the first step? What? Because when you finally get to bed at 5 a.m, you've probably taken 1,302 steps. Not
Yes.
literally, but like toward the end of the night. Things, micro moments, this drug, this conversation, bumping into that person. Did that just happen? What just happened? What's the
Yeah.
first step?
The first step was I would go to the beach and I would be really depressed and I would listen to Liz Phair
Wow.
for like a couple hours.
Such a good call too.
Yeah.
Nothing will get under your skin when you're down than Liz. She's amazing at that.
She's amazing, but also like super, super moody, especially her first album.
Yeah. God, I love going to the beach and listening to sad shit. I
Yeah.
listen to fucking Tom York solo albums when I'm at the beach all the time. Put on Dawn Chorus on a sunny day in Cabo. I'm a fucking happy guy. So yeah.
But yeah. The literal first thing I did when I landed in Miami was I got a Cubano. And then I looked around me and it was like all these crypto bros because it was Art Basel and NFTs had just become the thing. So I was like eating my Cubano, the crypto bros were all around me, I was getting sunburnt, and then I went to the beach and I listened to Liz Phair. And then the week kind of just unfolded from there. But essentially that song, I took that entire experience, which was like a 4-day craze, and I didn't even have to make anything up. I just put that right into the song. And yeah, now we have this song.
When it's time to record your songs, I don't hear a tool. Like
A
voice,
tool.
a tool, like a voice. I just hear like a spirit. Like you just, even your pop songs, you're like, me and the boys in the hotel lobby. Like I'm there with you.
Yeah.
How was the tour with Olivia? How was Arenas? How was doing that? We saw you before you hit the road on that.
Yes.
I know you didn't take any of the advice that we shared confidentially between us in terms of like the introduction. If we were going
Yeah.
to get that person to come out and introduce you with just expletives, she's the fucking greatest artist on the fucking planet.
That advice is still ringing in my head
pretty
though. The MC of it all.
With like the harshest of positive
Yeah.
swear words.
There could be a moment soon where I bring that in.
But not on someone else's tour.
No.
How was that experience? I'm sure she made you feel really welcome and everything was beautiful.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was my first it was a 10-week tour, so it was really incredibly long. And I'd never been to like half the cities we went to in Europe, but I mean, her whole band, her dancers, the whole crew, the whole fucking team is so lovely, so welcoming.
Great.
We all became like really, really great friends. And it was cool to just like be able to go out every night. And it was cool to like kind of watch from a bird's eye view my set evolve over time. Like I got more and more comfortable just like doing I started like, flashing titties by the end, which was
They're yours. Do what
they
you
are
want with them.
mine,
Do
and
what
I
you want
could,
with them.
yeah. But it was it was really wild to kind of watch myself sink into like a
Almost a character.
a character for like a longer period of time.
People often say that when you get into the big rooms that you have to adopt some kind of costume in order to reach people and do things in a different way.
Yeah,
And I think,
especially when it's not your show.
yeah, that's right? Because, you have a small window to come out there and make an impression. Otherwise, why do it?
Yeah, and I think that I went in with a really set intention of I want to be like a legitimate opener for her where I do my job of getting them super stoked and
Yeah.
like psyched to be there. And for a lot of those kids, it's their first concert. So I kind of took
Probably also their first flashing.
yeah, that too.
It's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, I mean, might as well be me.
Exactly.
But a lot of them, I would watch the first couple nights, and so many there's 9-year-olds that are just standing there so stiff and singing every word with crying, but they're just like
yeah. They don't know what to do with
they don't know what to do with their body. So
Yeah.
I was observing that. And I really made it a point, like at the beginning of my show, I was like, okay, guys, we're going to do some exercises together. So I had everybody put their hands
Amazing.
up, shake it out. We did like a vocal exercise. And I was like, all right.
I'm here
like,
for you.
Now I need you to go into your brain. I need you to shake that shit out, and I need you to try to let go of everything from this past week and get really present with me, because tonight is going to be really, really fun.
Amazing, Remi. I love that. I love that you did that. You know, most people go out there on their first arena tour, whether they choose to admit it or not, and they want to take something. They want to take something so that when they're done, they're like, yeah, I've got something to add to my journey now. Like I took some of that audience who love me now, you know? And it sounds to me like you went in a very giving spirit, and it worked. And I'm sure that Olivia and everybody appreciated that as well.
Yeah, I mean, the fan retention or whatever the hell that is, I was really trying to not be concerned with that as much as I possibly could, because that kind of just ruins the joy of a tour. Like if you're so focused on the numbers, so focused on like, is this working? Like, like it just ruins it. And I mean, it was just an incredible life experience at the end of the day.
We've really got to continue. We do this on the show. We've got to pay respects to Olivia. She's doing like a 1980s world tour. Like
my God.
It is
sick.
Insane how hard she's working on the road
crazy.
right now.
Yeah, no, she's incredible. I mean, her show is flawless every single night. She is an incredible singer. Yeah. And the songs are just amazing.
One after the other after the other.
It's
2
wild.
albums. I mean, I don't care what anyone thinks about this comparison. I mean, she's like the Strokes. Like they were doing those kind of tours on 2 albums. Very few artists get to 2 albums and get to tour the world in these kind of places like that for that kind of period of time. She's literally sort of in that category of someone who's put out. It doesn't really matter if you're going to go 2 albums if every song is the one.
Yeah.
That just means you have 25 songs that are the ones.
Yeah.
It's just unreal.
No, it is really wild. I mean, every single song's a banger. Yeah. Huge band, too.
Yeah.
Huge band, and also super tasteful about who she's deciding to, like, come and help support her. Like, between you, and Panthers, Breeders. Like, it's wild, man.
The fucking Breeders.
The fucking Breeders.
I mean, I think we all went quite quiet in the room for like 3 seconds live on air when you gave us that news. We were like, the Breeders. God damn, she's got taste. That's crazy. I mean, she does, but I mean, that's a pretty cool move. Now you get to focus on building your show around this beautiful body of work. You did it. You achieved it. You get to go celebrate it with your friends now. You were at Glastonbury?
Yeah, I just did that.
So you're already dabbling in all this stuff. How was that? How was Glastonbury for you?
It was cool. I was only there for 10 hours.
You got to go do it up one time.
Yeah, that was at the end of the Olivia tour, so we were all very tired.
Yeah, it's a lot when you're tired.
I think I had COVID.
Well, yeah. Well, it's okay.
What is wrong with you?
I'm so sorry.
but you're outside in the most outside place of all time. I think, look, the bottom line is, and I'm not trying to justify anybody walking around with COVID, but it's everywhere again.
It is. It's
just
back.
everywhere again.
It's back this summer.
I see very few masks, and I hear a lot of people with COVID. So I think at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, this is how we live now.
Yeah, it's the flu.
By the way, a lot of people at Glastonbury have a lot of things. A lot of people at Glastonbury have a lot of things. Did you hang out together at Glastonbury?
No, you were very sick. I said
Oh my God, this is getting worse. This is going worse.
You were sick.
I was sick, dude. And then we were driving back from Glastonbury to the hotel, the airport hotel where we stayed overnight, and the freeway shut down.
Oh yeah, that freeway
for
around
4
the freeway
hours.
is very shut down.
So we were just like,
Why? I've never had that before. Getting off site's hard. Why the freeway?
For this time, they're doing like a bunch of construction by the
Smart.
Oh, that's a good
Smart.
idea.
Yeah.
During Glastonbury weekend, keep the construction moving.
Yeah.
What a great idea that is.
So we were
Brilliant.
just like walking up and down the freeway, like after the Glastonbury.
Oh my
stuff.
God, like The Last of Us.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like on the barrier, like I pissed on the other side of the road. Like it was
shit.
awesome.
Also, after your set, you also came out again with Arlo. So it's not like
yeah,
you
I
were,
did come.
yeah.
You weren't just staying still. You like had 2 sets that day.
I had 2 sets that day, and
so
that
you
was
went on
very
stage
fun.
with Arlo with COVID.
Well,
First of all, everyone had
They were
COVID.
6 feet apart. It's fine. It's
The
fine.
hug, the hug didn't even count at the end.
yeah,
You know,
we.
it was the faces when we didn't even kiss.
Yeah, there wasn't even a
didn't even
kiss.
By the way,
Yes.
she's fine.
Yeah,
for now.
we're all fine.
For now,
Is she fine?
I watched every single season of Bridgerton that week.
No, you didn't get past 1. You never go past 1 on
yes,
Bridgerton.
you do.
No, you don't.
Dude, the ending's great, and
What?
the movies.
1 was like...
There's movies?
I get it.
They started putting out some
They're
movies.
not-
There's one about the Queen.
Oh.
It's bad.
Oh, so this is deep. There's so much Bridgerton I haven't seen.
There's
Yeah.
lots of Bridgerton.
You're never gonna watch
You gotta
it.
grow up, dude.
We had no idea Deegan was so Bridgerton pilled.
Don't worry about it, dude. I don't even know what you're talking about.
You are Bridgerton pill.
You so are.
I am, dude. I'm Bridgerton.
Did you watch it in Glastonbury as well?
You're
No, I
Bridgerton
watched-
coded.
England.
I watched it way before that, dude.
Are you?
I've been Bridgerton before Bridgerton was Bridgerton.
He's
dude.
like always talking about bringing back the aristocracy. He talks about it
I've been
constantly.
trying
He
to.
is. He's actually a
Slowly
monarch.
but surely.
He's monarch obsessed. He's a royalist.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it, dude.
Well, Remy.
Well, well, we went a bunch of
I
places.
feel like we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
Well, you just always feel like you can come back and hang out with us. You know,
Dude.
it goes beyond the music and beyond the show. You got good friends in this room, people who love you, and
Love you guys.
You know, really think the world of you, man. You're such a special
Thank
person.
you.
And you're brilliant.
I think the world of you guys.
Big Ideas is the name of the album. Remi Wolf is the artist. She has to leave us now, but I want to play just the start because lyrically, man, I think I was in my car and I actually said to myself with no one around, "Oh, that's fucking good, Remi." Just to myself, because at the end of it, it's like you nailed it and you didn't dress it up in anything. You just let it hang out. So just a few final words about why you finished the album pre-bonus with this song.
I wrote it as I was in my bed at like 3 a.m. and feeling very existential about like my artistry and just kind of my life in general. And I was, doing a lot of observation at the time, which we know. But I don't know, like the final stanza of the song is like, the thing about the chase is it plagues the human race. Think about it, Ned, is it only works when it's wet with the fishes or with the worth of a check. And the thing about getting caught is you think it's the end, but you know that it's not.
It's just
the start.
It's so good.
And I don't know, I just the start. I mean, ending an album with just the start is cool. It's kind of like it's a cliffhanger. And I don't know. I just like it. I stand by that song as almost like a thesis or something.
It is a thesis. If you look at it, like this is kind of your life today in a way. I don't want to party and I don't really want to work.
Yeah.
You know, either way I'll be lonely. Either way I'll be cursed. Right?
Yeah.
Because you never feel more lonely than when you feel alone at a party. Right? I mean, it's the worst loneliness in a strange
it's
way.
horrible.
It's not the worst, but it's bad. Maybe somewhere in the middle is actually worse. So it's like, that's just not feeling. That's just not putting yourself through the low and the high.
Yeah.
And I think those 3 lines, when I heard them, I was like, wow, you just really summed up to some degree what it is to kind of be an artist and be complicated and have this desire to be social and also this desire to be antisocial. But then, the alternative sucks.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many ways you can go. I feel like walking the tightrope of it is the exciting part.